Hello, fellow entrepreneurs, and welcome back to Her Hidden Revenue. If you're new here, this is a space where we quietly build digital income and creative freedom. For a little backstory, I've made over $50,000 using digital products in the last year, and now I'm using this YouTube channel to help other creators do the same by starting and growing their own digital product businesses. If you're anything like me, when I was thinking about getting into the digital product business, I had been thinking about starting for a long time. I watched videos, I consumed all types of posts from other creators who were selling digital product, but every time I sat down to pick a niche, my brain went into full overdrive. I was telling myself things like, what if I pick the wrong niche? Or what if the niche is too overly saturated? Probably a lot of the things you all are thinking. So instead of creating something, I actually just kept researching, kept second guessing myself. And then I stayed stuck in this loop where it was like the almost starting phase of my business building, which is where I got stuck for some time. But the truth is that most people aren't stuck because there aren't any good niches or you're overthinking about what a niche has to be. You actually don't even need to be an expert in your niche. You just need to stay one step ahead of your customers. And I think that's what a lot of people don't really think. They think they need to be an expert. So I think it takes time for you to actually realize you don't need to discover some rare or never before seen, or you don't have to have a revolutionary niche at all. You don't need to pick a niche that's never been done. As a matter of fact, you want to do quite the opposite. Your niche also isn't your forever identity. It's your starting strategy. It's something that you're going to start with. It's something that you're going to build your brand upon. And this can expand or even completely change as you move on into your digital product business. Most people think that a niche has to be super specific, complicated, deeply personal, or whatever the case may be. But again, a niche is simply a starting point. It's not a lifetime commitment. You're not marrying it. You're just committed long enough to finish, launch, and learn from it. So just think of it like that. You can start with something so simple when it comes to a niche. Mostly something that you already know, ideally, something that you have life experience with, but you can change directions with it later. But you can't build the momentum in your digital product business if you never start. So, picking a niche is honestly just the first decision in a series of experiments. Mind you, experiments is the key word there. It's all going to be trial and error when you start out. You're going to learn, you're going to expand, you're going to see what your audience likes, you're going to hear feedback from them, all of those things. So, that being said, when it comes to a niche, the best niches live at the intersection of what you've done, experienced, or learned. Again, what do you already know? Another key point to add into that is, what are people already paying for? So this is where a lot of people skip over doing a lot of the research that it takes to actually see if there is demand in the niche, which is it's a vital portion of getting started in your digital product business. The next portion of this is, what can you teach? What can you simplify, or what can you create around? What's something that you are really good at that you have done before? For example, I helped a very close friend of mine who has a service-based business in body sculpting. Because of my background in digital products, I evaluated her business and I took something that she already knew. She had already had the knowledge of body sculpting and wood therapy, very specific, but this is something that she does and she wanted to expand on her business. What we did was we basically packaged her knowledge nice and pretty, and we made it into a training course that other aspiring people who wanted to get into the body sculpting business, and we made it simplified for them, and we gave them a one-stop shop to learn the aspect of body building. And she made over $5,000 in the first week of selling that digital product. So it can be something that you already know. Just make sure it's something that you're good at, or that you're at least well rounded in, and that you can teach somebody that will help them get to a transformation. I promise you, picking a niche doesn't have to feel like you're just guessing. We are going to talk through a framework that I built when I was going through picking a niche, or even when I'm helping my students pick a niche. These are the questions that we like to talk through to validate the niche before you go through wasting time building products surrounding something that you're just guessing will work. We actually put together this framework to break down and validate niches before you even build upon it. So we start with, what do you know? And it doesn't have to be this like deep expertise. You don't have to have a degree. You just have to know enough to share something helpful. This is your starting point. This is what you already have experience with, even casually. You just need a skill. You just need a story and or some sort of process that others would value. So, for example, if you're a full time mom, which I also am a full time mom, but hypothetically speaking, if you're a mom full time and you figured out how to plan stress free meals for the week in under an hour, that's knowledge that moms would pay for. Other moms, busy moms, whether you're a full time mom, whether you are a working mom or a mom trying to build a business or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you've even been freelancing for a year and you figured out how to land clients without cold pitching or cold calling. That is a skill. That is a starting point for you. So, that is what I mean by take what you already know and what you are already experiencing or experience, package it up, and that is your starting point. From there, you want to look at what people are struggling with. This is where the demand for your product shows up. What problems, what desires, what goals do people have that are in this space? To think about it, you can say, what is frustrating your audience? What are they stuck on? Or what are they needing help with when it comes to searching? You can find this in comment sections. You can find it in threads and Reddit threads, YouTube replies, DMs, Facebook groups, all of the above. For example, in the mom niche, people are overwhelmed with dinner planning or like picky eaters. I know I have a picky eater at home, and it is super hard to figure out different ways that she can enjoy food while still being the super picky child that she is. So, if they're struggling with that, you want to make sure that you are pinpointing a real pain point. If people are venting about it, then they're open to solutions. So, think about it that way. The next point in this framework is, are people already spending money here? This is where you want to look for digital proof. So you want to look at, are people buying templates? Are they buying mini courses? Are they buying checklists, ebooks? What is it in demand? If you go on Etsy and see people selling meal planners or onboarding templates for clients, this is how you can validate that. You can go on shops like Etsy, you can go on TikTok, you can see if people are buying these dashboards, spreadsheets, mini courses. And if they are definitely buying that, then that's your sign. You're not too late. You just need to create your own version of what is in demand. So that's point 3 of the framework. Point 4 of the framework is, can you offer a win or a transformation? Now, I cannot stress this enough. People are not buying your digital product just to have your digital product. They are buying the transformation that your digital product is going to give them once they consume it. So think time saved, think clarity gained, think stress reduced, or a simple win or a simple result. This doesn't have to be a huge life change either. It just has to move someone forward, whether that's from being stuck to finally getting started, or whether it's being confused on something to being having clarity on that thing, or moving from slow to a little bit more of a simple, quicker pace, you know? It just kind of, you have to put it into perspective. Another really close friend of mine, her niche is actually surrounding mental health. She struggled with mental health for years and she struggled to find a solution on bettering mental health. So she created actually a mindset journal and a mental health ebook that helps people get out of this state of paralysis, mental paralysis, and actually take action to help building towards a stronger mental health. So think about small wins that are powerful when they solve a real problem. Just remember, you don't need to be the most original. You just need to be clear. You need to help someone go from point A to point B. And that's when people are going to buy your digital product. You can use this framework in order to validate a niche that you've been thinking about. Use these 4 questions, and this will validate your niche to ensure that you are actually picking a niche that is going to be profitable. If you're looking for some help even getting your gears turning, you can grab my free guide. It has 200 plus niche and sub niche ideas in order to get your brain turning. So go ahead and grab that if you want it. The link is down below in the description box. Next, let's talk about profitable niches and sub niches that are working right now. To start, health and wellness. Health and wellness is always going to be an evergreen space of a niche because people always want to feel better. You'll see successful creators in this niche selling planners, journals, habit trackers, or even guides, educational guides. Some sub niches under the health and wellness niche is like women's hormone health, stress management, home workouts, gut health, sleep optimization, and there's honestly so much more underneath the health and wellness niche, fitness planning, meal prepping, things like that under the health and wellness niche. The next profitable niche we'll talk about is wealth and finance. Sub niches for wealth and finance niche would be budgeting for beginners, side hustle planning, credit repair, investing for women, freelancer taxes. This space thrives because people pay for anything that saves or makes them money. So things like budget templates, income trackers, financial literacy ebooks all do super well in this niche. The next niche is relationships and parenting. Sub niches within this niche are co parenting schedules, gentle parenting, marriage communication, dating after divorce. I mean, just off the top of my head, I could think of sibling relationships, maybe child relationships, teenage parenting. All of those things fall under the sub niche of relationships and parenting. Products in this space really solve deeply emotional problems. That means there's a high perceived value. Think planners, think scripts, journals, conversation cards, anything surrounding this niche is honestly very, very profitable. The last profitable niche I will talk about today is self-development. Sub niches within this niche are confidence building, goal setting, manifestation, time management, personal growth journaling. This niche is honestly everywhere and it still works and is super evergreen because people will always want a transformation. Daily check-ins, digital workbooks, even vision board kits are always in demand. If you've been stuck on picking a niche, I hope this gave you the clarity and momentum you needed to finally start building your digital product business. Remember, the best niche isn't the one with the most competition. It isn't the trendiest niche. It's the one you can stick with long enough to serve someone well and turn it into income. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next drop. There is so much more coming. We are going to grow together. We're going to sell. We're going to build digital income Don't forget to download the 200 plus niches and sub niches guide in the description below. It's packed with ideas that you can take action on today. As always, keep on building, keep on betting on yourself, and I will see you in the next video.